Yeah, roll it, mic check, smoking the air. Yeah, knowledge in the room, Cam in the seat. Let's talk. Welcome to the smoke session. Pull a check, tune in. Cigar.
Yo, what up, everybody? Cam, Brother Scurro. Yo, we live on the smoke session tonight where our guest will be my guy, DJ Newton from Mount Olympus Cigars. I'm gonna get my brother added in. What's up, Dakota Smoke? I'm gonna add DJ in here and we gonna get going tonight. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Ooh, that boy is clean with the white polo on.
What's happening?
Hey, I see you, brother. I see you.
Man, listen, I'm looking out for the clouds.
Hey, it was just, I mean, storming here. I was like, oh man, I'm finna have to go to the garage. And I really was not trying to do that.
Listen, well, I wasn't trying to be in the room because I wanted to smoke. So it worked out for the best.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you feeling?
Shit, refreshed right now. You know what I'm saying? You
Hey,
know,
no doubt, no doubt.
hydrated. You know what I'm saying? Got a little celebratory. So, good smoke.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
right
Congratulations on
on,
the special edition, man.
right on,
That
right on.
that's a mighty fine label on there. Mighty
Ain't it
fine
though?
label.
Ain't it? It's the truth.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, man. Hey, get a little bit of that sweet tea with my Wilson, Get my get my voice right. Get my voice right. For
Uh,
for everybody that don't know, I'm gonna go on and introduce my guy, my big brother, DJ Newton, Mount Olympus Cigars. That's the fella right there. If you ain't had a Mount Olympus cigar, you don't know what you miss.
right on, right on. I appreciate you having me, brother.
Hey man, you know I couldn't have done this without you. You was on the very first one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to give you your shine, man. What's up, Mark? I'm just,
Think so.
getting the getting the fella in here. We're gonna get a little comfortable. Then we're gonna take a little deep dive. We're gonna ask some of the hard hitting questions. Nah, man, I ain't gonna do all that because hey, everybody already know what you do, brother. They know who you are. You ain't no normal dude around here no more.
Uh, I don't
You
know about
you a
all
move
that, but you know.
you a mover and a shaker in the industry now, man. You shaking up. You shaking up the foundation around here.
Well, you know, I think in
What's up,
good
Kitty?
words,
What's up, Jennifer?
Kitty was going on. I think they say, sometimes somebody got to shake the tree.
Hey, man, that's it. And man, before I get started, I just gotta say, deep down in my heart, man, I appreciate you because without you, Brother Skirrow probably would not have come as far as this come because I appreciate the input, the help, the conversations, the support. Appreciate you, brother.
And man, I appreciate you.
Doubt, no doubt. Yo, I got to do the stuff that everybody does from the beginning.
Right?
Tell us the thought process of where Mount Olympus cigars came from.
Ooh. I mean, it's a funny concept, just because the name in itself, you know, uh, the name actually,
Hey, Sarah, how you doing this evening?
not thinking about, you know, the, mountain of Olympus. Um, it actually, the idea started really from a Big Crit song, Mount Olympus. And so I had my handle like that for a little while. But then when we actually started having a conversation about uh, cigars and everything, it took me a minute to think about it, and I was like, well, shit, I think I can just use my handle, and I think I can actually, break off a bunch of different concepts based on that. And so, that was a lot of talk in 23, 22, 23. Um, and so it started catching the train in 23,
Okay.
January 15th of 2024 when the first two sticks rolled out, Zeus and Aphrodite.
That way, you know I know because I was like, hey, let me get that. Let me get that. I need that in my hands, brother. I need them. So right now we're how many sticks in now?
We have out 10 Olympians right now, and then we have the limited edition that you're smoking on right now, that we're smoking on right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, crazy thing is, you started in 24, far as the first ones actually hitting the market in 24.
Right.
We're midway through 26, and you have 11 cigars. That
Yes.
is one amazing in itself because to be able to give that many offerings and they all be different.
Right.
And you know me, I know because I smoked them all. And I got my favorites. I ain't gonna ask you yours because that's like your children. So you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
you can't pick
Yeah.
you
These are
can't
my
pick
kids.
between your children. Yeah, you can't do that. But
What's going on,
I'll
Mo?
tell, hey, I'll tell everybody mine. Zeus is my cigar. I love Zeus. That is a hell of a smoke. Now Hastia, she real close. She real close.
Yeah.
She got a hand on his shoulder close.
They're beast.
And after today, I just might say Apollo really starting to creep in now. Cause
So,
I really like that burn on Apollo.
so that's probably the only one I haven't smoked yet. Um, and it's just timing and everything. Um, we were bouncing back and forth. We had the Canada event. Um, everything had just came out, and so it was like, hey, I was like, listen, I'm not gonna be home. I'll be on travel. I need you to send me at least a couple bundles of each, so that I'll be able to try them out.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, I like the fact, and most people don't even understand this because if they ain't never ordered, they don't know. But ain't nobody, and I mean nobody like you when it comes to the ordering process. Because when somebody orders something from you, if you can, you ship it the next day. It's in the mail.
Truth
And
be told, though, if I'm available and they order by 3, I'll mail it that same day.
see, n- I can't think of another company that's like that.
You know,
You
well, I can.
Amazon Prime don't even do that.
Well, they'll tell you it takes 2 days, but it ends up being 3 or 4.
Hey,
You know,
I will say this: this last batch came the fastest they ever come.
well, I'm closer to you,
Yeah,
so they're not going through the same chains and everything. So maybe that's it. It's coming through Georgia right to you.
well, yeah. Hey, I appreciate it too because boy, I had the biggest smile on my face when I saw that package. And for everybody that's never got one, I don't know if they've ever seen this, but man, that's a mighty fine sticker you got there inside that package, my boy.
Right? And if you like the aesthetics, it glows in the dark.
Hey, for real.
A
That's
little,
what I'm talking about.
a little added perk, you know, for those that want to, I don't know, have a fun fact.
Hey, that's it, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I got my question. I ain't gonna do you like I said I was gonna do you the other day. It was pretty good. That was a pretty good one though. That was a pretty
That
good one. He was
was
like he
that
was
was
like
a good one.
nah, I'm good on that. Hey, that's inside. You had to see the out. Y'all had to watch the outtakes for that one. But so we know you have the 11 sticks out. I ain't gonna ask you what's to come because they need to buy these 11 first. That's what I'm gonna say. Buy these 11. Go get you a 5 pack of Mount Olympus cigars. That's my PSA of this episode. Go get you a 5 pack. You get you a 10, get you 2 5 packs. In fact, get three
Yeah,
5 packs and send one to me. What's up,
yeah.
Diamond
I think
Fusion Music?
what I'm gonna do though, and I know it's short on the list, but I think I'm gonna go ahead probably tomorrow drop a Father's Day code. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little 15% off or whatnot, and then shit, I'll run it. I'll run it all the way up till Father's Day.
Hey, that's it. Hey, there you go. Hey, for everybody, you want that 5 pack, it's gonna have a 15% off on it. You might want to jump on it.
Yeah,
Cause
I probably put it up tonight.
there you go. Hey, see, hey, exclusive. There you go. So let's see. Let's go to the old questions here. I got.
Let's dive in.
Let's take a deep dive in here. So my first question is, what is something that you learned about the cigar industry that you didn't know before you actually got into the business?
Um, the I think probably one of the biggest things is the process. Um, from not necessarily from the seed to smoke, but what I'm saying, from your factory, packaging, leaving, one country's customs, coming into the U.S. customs, learning about the, import, export taxes, the tariffs, um, and then, it's very unique, unique to every state. Every state has their own, set of laws when it comes to that. So, um, and then, trying to follow some of the stuff that PCA was talking about, how they were trying to lump cigars and cigarettes and vapes and all of that stuff into one. Um, that was probably one of my biggest things. But really the crazy part about it was when um, on the lounge. Uh, I think that was my first introduction, more so expanded the culture because I've been smoking for a few decades now, and I go to a lounge, I smoke, and I can have 3 to 5 smokes a day, but I didn't know that different states, different cities was putting on these week long or weekend long events, doing a cigar education, being able to network. That opened my eyes a lot too.
Yeah, oh yeah. What's up? Smoke well, drink better. Man, the crazy part about it is that you brought up the fact of the different weeks is that if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have knew because I learned about the weeks through you when you first told me about Tampa. Because
Right.
I didn't know that aspect of the community existed.
I didn't.
But
I was just as new, what I'm saying, to that realm as, you know, somebody probably, getting their first stick. I was just like, what? This is what we're doing? Okay, well, let me see what this is about. And so, I hit a couple, well, a few. Um, but this year's been so busy and hectic with, like I said, we just did the event in Canada. They're looking for a repeat here in another month or so. Um, we got other events. OGs out there, doing the rodeo. Um, Smoke Well was good. You know what I'm saying, Craig? So a lot of different things are just removing and pieces parts, and of course, trying to manage do some time management with the 9 to 5, and you know, it makes it like extra work, but it's not as busy as I think it. For some people it may seem. It's just like when hey, I got to go out of town for work or whatnot. That process might be hindering a little bit, but I always saying bring my luxury travel humidor with me that holds about 300 sticks. So uh, I keep the business even when I'm on the road.
Hey, and trust me, we appreciate you for it because it's real nice when you want to stick and just do, and you got them with you to send them, and I ain't got to wait until you get back to the home office to send them to me.
That's a fact.
Hey,
That's a
that's a
fact.
good thing, man. That's a good thing. Let's see. All right, here's another question. Good one here.
Mm.
In this process, what do you feel that you may have done? I'm not gonna say done wrong. That you have done that if you had this knowledge you have right now when you started, you would have done differently.
Mm. I don't know if I would have done anything differently. I think you know um, when you're in business, you you try to learn the ins and outs, and try to know what you need to know before you go into it. But I think you can't know everything. Some things you are probably going to have to learn on the fly, trial and error, um, things like that. So when I think about certain things like for example shipping, what I'm saying, like hey, if I want some cigars that you know in September, well shit, I needed to be thinking about that in March to be
Right.
like, okay, hey, what's a good shipment date so I can get it shipped out through customs and to me, by said date. You know what I'm saying? And especially when, you have events and things like that, and, you want to make sure you got enough product. So not necessarily I think I wanted to change it. I think the aspect of it would be uh, where you would want to, build your LLC, depending on the state and their tax laws and tobacco laws. That would probably be one of the key things to think about. You know what I'm saying? Who's trying to overly tax you? Who's really not? Some states are very easy. Creating your LLC, getting your license, and everything else. For some, they just be like, nah, I need you to fill this out. Oh, you did that? All right, I need you to fill this back out too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's always a process, and you're going to continue, saying, I guess, to hone on your skills to, try to make your business, 100%, around, the dynamics of it. Because everything in the world is changing. We started thinking about uh, import, export taxes, the tariff, the different things going on here in the world. You might not be able to get certain things. Like, if you want to get custom boxes, if you want to get custom candy bags, um, just the footwork. A lot of other, boutique brand owners, feel themselves trying to go to a lounge and get their smoke thing just to, because that's still a marketing thing. Um, I'm not saying it's not good for you as sales because I mean, let's
Right.
just face it, wholesale and retail is very different in prices. But you know what I'm saying, you also got to think with lounges, what benefits you to even have your smoke there. First off,
True.
because
True. True.
some lounges may not move like that, and some of them may not promote your shit, and then you got to think about placement in the lounge. Where they placing it? On the bottom shelf in the corner. You know what I'm saying next to an acid. Nah,
Right.
I don't want that.
Hey, let's give him a little ass check right now. Give him a little ass check. That thing mine is strong now. Looking mighty strong. I like what we got going on over here. I ain't dropped it on me yet, so I know it's doing its thing.
Look, that's why I'm sitting. You know what I'm saying a little over just in case.
Hey, I feel you. What's up, Liz? What's up, Angelina? Yep, Angelina. Hey, I had to squint. You know the old eyes ain't what they used to be. I had to look down. I look down and make
Hey,
sure I can see it.
it just be like that sometimes. You know.
Hey, Mo says you owe him some sticks.
Listen, I'm messing with Mo because you know what I'm saying. Mo will sit there and say, "Man, don't send no sticks to me." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to pay 300% taxes and everything else.
Tell him go ahead to come to the U.S. and get him if you want him.
See, Mo was supposed to have come here, and you know what I'm saying. We were supposed to all meet up. You know what I'm saying,
Don't,
good,
no
good
doubt.
evening, cigar muse.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something that you should have learned. That if you knew then from now, I tell you something that you wish you knew.
what's that?
That you when you place your order, that when you place your order to get sent to you, you add an extra bundle because you know OG gonna take that bundle so you can get the right amount.
Right. No, no. What did he say? Quality control.
Right. Him and
Right.
MJ. Him
Yeah.
and MJ holler quality control. And MJ smoke one cigar every 10 years. MJ got a new shirt coming, Cigar Museum. Oh man.
Yeah. I'm still
But
waiting on
yeah,
my ass straight from MJ.
he should be work. Well, you know, they went to crit last night.
Well, I know. I listen. I was mad.
Yeah,
Listen,
they
I
went to
saw
crit
it.
last
I
night.
saw it. I was like, God damn.
So it's funny us sitting here because we talk so much. Is you know, and I was like, okay, what am I try to ask stuff for other people than for myself because I know the answers to a lot of this stuff, but you know, I
The
had to throw
folks.
some out there. Some of these far-reaching ones.
Right.
I want to talk about legacy, about
Okay.
your legacy per se.
Okay.
20 years from now, what
Yeah.
do you want people to say about Mount Olympus?
Food. You know, and that's a good question. You know what? I think at the end of the day, I want people to understand that. Oh, you know what? This brother came out. Cigars were bold, extract. They came out with very different concepts. Um, and when I started this, it wasn't like I wanted to just be like, hey, let me do this one, and let me do the second one, and everything. So I think I was strategic in the sense of I needed a god and a goddess to come out at the same time. I wanted it to represent, what I'm saying, us as a culture. I wanted it to show um, the fertility, the love of that within the black household. That's why, the images are the way they are. Um, it was just a grand concept, and it took me a minute to actually think about that. hopefully, it all got relayed in the message that, every cigar comes out, everyone is different. Each one tells their own particular story, even though the Olympians are a family. Um, but you go back to Greek mythology, what I'm saying? And we all can understand it. Sometimes it's a dysfunctional family. Um,
Right.
and so, you have the chaos, the trauma, and everything else. So even gods and goddesses in their realm, go through some human-like behaviors, and some human-like experiences. So at the end of the day, hey, I want everybody to take away to say, hey, man, the brother has some, pretty good sticks. I love the concept and energy behind it. Um, and it's always going to be a passion to have. Shit, 20 years, hell, I'm hoping I'm still smoking my own goddamn cigar.
Hey, no doubt. I'm gonna be smoking them with you, brother. All right, we got a good old question. The Scar Muse says I came in on the tail end of the wholesale versus retail, whether it be cigars, accessories, etc. Or what's your number one advice?
Mm.
I'm gonna let you answer
Um,
it, then I'm gonna answer it.
I think when it comes to wholesale, everybody needs to think about that, and they need to think about um, their cost to make it and everything, and then they need to think about their retail, their profit margin, and everything else like that. Yes, you're gonna probably undercut yourself some when you're selling a lot of product at wholesale, but it's also a marketing tool at the same time. Um, like right now, what Monolithic Cigars has hit Georgia, Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, Canada, Kenya, uh, Tanzania, uh, Philly, Maryland, some other spots in the West Coast, some spots in the Midwest. So even though they're, not all in lounges, you know, I still sell retail where a lot of brand owners don't do that. They strictly deal with, hey, if you got to get my cigars, you got to go to this lounge that may or may not be in your area. So that's a hardship to try to, you know, be able to get your hand on one of these. Um, Retail, yeah, that's just what it is. That's where you can get your profit margin up there. But on that part of the business, you got to get out here and hustle. So if you're not about hustling, and everybody might say that about me, because I don't go to all these cigar weeks. I don't, I'm not pounding on lounge doors because I have a different direction that I'm trying to go. So let me knock down some giants, and then let everybody else come to them to get it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, and I look at it the same way. Wholesale is a marketing tool for sure. That's what you're not gonna get rich with wholesale by no means, unless you just hit some phenomenal deal, which
And that's and
being
that's by
being a
volume.
right, right. So you're gonna have to hit some kind of phenomenal deal with wholesale. Retail is where your money gonna be made, but you're gonna have to do the leg work for retail. And I mean, and that's where it is because like I got wholesale orders for some t-shirts. It was sort of crazy how it all worked out, but
Right.
it was a lady with a weed dispensary,
And she
and
wanted.
she saw the "Smoke 'em if you got 'em" shirt, and she
Mm,
wanted it. She hit me up. We made a deal. Hey, now they out there. And they are tagged House of Oscuro, so they know where they came from.
true.
And so if somebody decides they want another one, they may not necessarily have to go to that spot anymore. They can
They can
just
come
look
to
up
you.
House of Oscuro. That wholesale flips to retail for me. So it's
Because
just
it's again marketing.
yeah, it's a marketing tool. So you just have to look at it like that. Look at us, DJ. We over here. We getting educational pieces over here on the smoke session, man. We supposed to be chopping it up, but we over here playing smart guy. Nah, let me stop.
But hey, like the infamous OG man. Listen, what I'm saying, we the smoke of the people. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't sit down and talk to your customers, can't sit down and have conversations with them, say, hey, what you like to smoke? Hey, I might have something for your palate or whatnot. Then but you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because in business, you got to understand the people dynamic about it, and I think that's where a lot of the big corporations that's where they lose their way.
True that. True that. Hey, here we go. What's something about you that would surprise people?
You know what? I don't know if it's a surprise. Uh,
I'm not talking about the people that know you. I'm talking about the people that's on the outside looking in and just learning who Mount Olympus is.
if hmm, well, I said a couple of things. So uh, when inspired, I write poetry. I listen to a lot of classical music. Um, and I was a band nerd besides a sports nerd.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yes. Hey, it's all worked out for the best. Hey, can't go wrong with that. Let's see. Hmm. I gotta find another good one because I got quite a few. Stuff I was just coming up with. All right, here we go. If you were sitting in a lounge and all 11 of your sticks was in the lounge, all 11, and a brand new smoker walked in, and they talked to you, and they asked you, "Hey, of your cigars," 'cause they found out you got a brand. They said, "Of your
Hmm.
cigars,
Yep.
what do you suggest?" How do
Um,
you handle that conversation? I'll say it that way. How do you handle that conversation?
I
What's
handle
up,
that
Sean? What's up,
conversation.
Zeta?
I think kind of easy. I think I just ask the question. You know what I'm saying? What's your palate? What are you used to smoking? What do you like to eat? What do you like to drink? Do you pair? Or anything? Because I think there's a lot of different things you need to ask before you can potentially narrow something down to an individual. Like I can sit here and talk about, you know what I'm saying? I do a lot of, bourbon and whiskeys, dabble on the tequila side, I drink wine. Um, and so not all cigars are meant for wine. Um, and some cigars aren't meant to have with tequila and things like that. So, somebody that has a go-to drink and this is that, their thing, then I need to kind of know that to steer them in a direction I think will best suit them because you don't want the cigar to either overpowder their meal or the meal, you know what I'm saying, make I guess, the cigar in a sense kind of dull, where you're not getting, some of the flavors like having I say for instance, if you're going to eat something spicy, Castilla is probably not the cigar to smoke, you know.
Right.
If you want something light, and you're gonna sip some wine or you want to do a dessert drink, hey, Aphrodite might be your queen, you
You
know.
go.
So it all depends, and it all depends on their mood too. Like, hey, you pissed off today? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I need to know particular details before I venture
Okay.
down that road.
See, and that's probably one of the best answers that you'll ever get from anybody because anybody else will be like, "Oh, you knew? Yeah. All right. Well, you need this Connecticut." Not realizing a Connecticut can be strong too.
Well, so and it's funny you say that because um, you know, uh, someone told me they thought Poseidon hit harder than Hestia, and I was like, what? Okay, yeah, that's something new. But again, you also have to think about uh, our our palates are so different, and we look to make Poseidon um, as a chameleon. You know what I'm saying, when we did him as a Connecticut because we wanted him to be bolder than the concept that most people think. Like, oh, Connecticut, mild, you know what I'm saying? It's, maybe kind of bland. So,
Right.
it's we wanted to change up, and I think we try to change each one up. Like, coming out with um, all the females of box press, with the exception of Artemis. She's the only one that's not a box press, just because of her bipolar. Um, and that's when we started to shift them out. Most of them were like Zeus, Gordo, 6x60, Aphrodite was the torpedo. Uh, you looked at and put a torpedo box press. You looked at the God and Gods of War, roughly about the same uh, bipolar, but one's box press. Um,
Hmm.
and then, we stepped it up and said, hey, well, let's look at Hades and Hera. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I don't want to say on opposite spectrums because she's a goddess of marriage and he's a god of the underworld. But he's a 7x70 barber pole box press where she's a Solomon, box press. And so, and a barber pole. So we try to do a lot of different things and offer, a variation across the board. Like we're not going to want to make the same Vitola. And I didn't want to make one cigar and change it into three different Vitolas to try to
Right.
see what, the outcome would be. Like I wanted them all to have their own unique identity.
Cool. Cool. That's it. Uh, let's talk culture. Is there a trend going on in the culture right now that if you could get rid of it, you'd get rid of it?
You know, I mean, I think that's hard to say, just because of we're so
What up,
spread out.
MJ?
We're so spread out in the culture. You know what I'm saying, from state to state. Um, but the thing, probably the biggest thing I would be like is get rid of the bullshit of gatekeeping. Like everybody can eat. You know what I'm saying? We can all sit here at the grand table, and let me be clear about what I mean by that. Not every even though I might set the table, I might not be the only one with the best dish. You know what I'm saying, somebody else might have a great dish to add. You know what I'm saying, to my table, and I'll be like, you know what, cool, run with that. I don't need any proceeds necessarily. You know what I'm saying, from that. Somebody else might have a better idea that I may not have looked at. You know what I'm saying, when it came to branding or marketing and things like that. And they just dropped the nugget. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. And then, on the flip side of that is welcoming, I should say, welcoming with it, open ear and closed mouth on constructive criticism. because I think a lot of people confuse constructive criticism with verbal attacks.
Right. That's why I asked that question because that's exactly where I was going with it.
Mhm.
Far as all the gatekeeping outside of it. I don't know why everybody think just because you can't eat. I don't understand that. We got to be complementary to each other to help this thing grow.
Yeah,
Cause the more we work together, the stronger we get.
and but here's the thing, and I sometimes I don't want to say I sometimes understand gatekeeping, but I don't necessarily call it that term. Um, in the sense that I'm thinking about, saying you got to have discernment of who you're working with. You got to have, I guess, some checks and balances to understand. You're saying, hey, what this individual is trying to do along with you, like what kind of collab y'all trying to do? Is it even beneficial? You know what I'm saying? Because and here's the thing, I don't care if what I'm saying we do a collab and it might not be in a sense monetarily beneficial for me. It might be beneficial for me because of marketing. It may be beneficial for me because we've done too much networking. So people are gonna start asking, "Hey, bro, the dude that you always collabing with, like tell me about it." He's like, "Well, how about this? How about I just set you up with conversation?" And so, a lot of people out here want to either make the fast buck, don't want to put in the work, and they just want to ride on the curtail sometimes. And those are the people that you have to kind of sometimes put to the wayside, um, and focus on your tribe at hand. Those people that show up every day that
Yeah.
they work the 9 to 5. Hell, they 9 to 5 shift them sometimes, and now they got to work a graveyard shift, and so
Right.
y'all schedules don't match. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I use that example because when me and OG started this or whatnot, and a lot of people I guess seemed amazed about that was that he and I had never met personally until um, last year. I want to say October, you know what I'm saying, of last year. And we just happened to be on the same coast, but we were still 3 hours away from each other. And we linked up, made it work. You know what I'm saying? Sat back, talked some business. But then we got rid of the business. We had some dinner, sat back and had some smoke. So, you know, people got to understand everyone's humanity. You know what I'm saying? When we're doing this, you know what I'm saying? If you can't, lean on some people, or you don't trust easily, it's gonna be hard to come out here and do some things. It is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What up, Kingpin? What's up,
Kingpin
Smoking
love.
Whiskey? Hey man. See, these in-depth conversations that we have, they starting to get inside information. Oh, they'll most people don't know we be having these conversations, man, when
Right.
we be actually talk about this type of stuff.
And it's crazy. And I'm looking at one of the comments that everyone is worried about the stick sale, and they're not pushing box sales. That's my experience. And so a lot of people see, and it's not necessarily. I don't think a lot of people don't want to push box sales. You know what I'm saying? I think it's the individuals. You know what I'm saying? That like that's got to be their thing. Like Cam said, hey, Zeus is his stick. Now do you want to say, hey, DJ, I need a box? What's that price?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I think the I don't want to say the lines get blurred. I think people when they see something that they want, they're gonna get it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? All day long. You know what I'm saying? So if I like Hell, I think I got half of a box of Monte Cristo number two, but they're not 2026 Monte Cristo number two. They 1990 Monte Cristo number two. So I hold on to them for dear life. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a different seed, that's a different product, and time. So yeah, not everybody's gonna push certain sales because unless you're and I can't even say you're a seasoned vet because some vets don't even have large enough humidors to, you know what I'm saying, carry that kind of volume. Like, like right now, I got 3,000 cigars sitting in my house. Who
Exactly.
ha- who has that kind of volume? You know what I'm saying? Like
Most people
not
don't.
your right. Most people don't. So, you know, some people they might, like I said, they might buy that box. But a lot of people are turning to, you know, other means because you know what, maybe they don't want to have a humidor or a bulky humidor. You know what I'm saying? They can go with something a little smaller that will last still 3 to 6 months to keep their
That's it.
smoke good.
Hey, still on culture. Here we go. This is a good one. And it sort of piggybacks on where we were. What's the biggest opportunity in the cigar community is missing out is missing out on, right?
What's the biggest opportunity?
Yeah, like what
Mm,
what are what are we not capitalizing on in your eyes?
ourselves, and
Mm,
and and so I say that to say this, and so a lot of people, say I think they miss golden opportunities. I don't know if it's because they think the time is not right, or their business plan isn't right, or they're afraid to do X, Y, and Z. Like every choice you make has pros and cons. No matter how what I'm saying, much, what I'm saying, that what I'm saying, that the pros are here, you're still going to have some kind of consequences in your decision making. And so I think people sometimes overly weigh the consequences. So I took a chance in 2024. My you figure I was fresh in the market, 2 months in, I'm showing up as a vendor in Tampa Cigar Week.
right.
Um, Doing that, I got the opportunity to meet yourself, uh, to meet Miss Juju, to meet Bruno Lyons, to meet, what I'm saying, KO, uh, La Corona, to meet a bunch of amazing people. But at the same time, it gave me a second opportunity because, one of my, and I'll say probably my supreme buyer, aka James Matty, aka Bruno Lyon, gifted a cigar to someone, and it immediately turned into a podcast. And they said that, hey, we never ever get someone just fresh off the the train and do an interview. And so he was taken back by Aphrodite. And so we literally set it up, and it was a lot of running around. It was a lot of effort, but those kind of things, you got to kind of put yourself out there for. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people aren't big on public speaking. Um, a lot of people aren't big, but that's when it starts to come to you as knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and being able to build a brand. And sometimes what people don't even understand, you don't necessarily have to have, what I'm saying, ambassadors, what I'm saying, salespeople. Once your volume gets to that level, probably yes. You know what I'm saying? Starting out, no. But what I learned and what I understood, is that my customers were my brand ambassadors.
Yep.
The the reposts, the reels, how they talked about them, everything. Um, it has been phenomenal, and I think you know that besides me thinking about the blends and everything, my consumers are 85% of my success.
I agree. I agree. And you're right. I mean, we are the biggest opportunity because we don't capitalize on us, on what we do well.
Right.
Because, because I mean, if you post all the time on your social media random stuff, why can't you post your business stuff? You make all these creative reels for when you go on vacation. Why can't you make it for whatever your business idea is or your business opportunity? You got to bet on yourself. Everybody
All
ain't gonna
day.
like what you do.
No, they're not.
Everybody's gonna be a critic. Everybody's gonna have something to say. Who
But
cares?
here's the thing: Are you paying? Are you paying the light bills? You know what I'm saying? Are these people paying your light bills? Are these people? You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes in a sense they might. You know what I'm saying because of your business. They might be keeping your lights on or things like that. When I got into this, it wasn't about cash. It wasn't about hey, I'm trying to make $1 million or whatnot. I genuinely love to smoke cigars, and it was a blessing of an opportunity to be able to meet a master blender, a guy that also is part owner in a factory, black owned, and say, you know what, let's do this. And man, our business has been strong. Our communication has been strong, and I think that's one of the things that we probably lack too. If I have to think about that, the communication piece. A lot of
Oh
people
yeah.
don't communicate directly to say, hey, this is what I need, this is what I want, and you know, don't don't try to fudge the numbers. Like, just tell me what it is. Tell me the truth about what it is, and let me make that decision. And you know, go forward with it. And so, um, yeah, here we are.
Oh, no doubt. Hey, so we got a question. Dakota Smoke said, "What's more beneficial to have your cigar in a lounge or sell online?"
Mm, see, that depends. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think one, it depends on the lounge you're in, for one, and two, it also depends on when you're talking about selling online. It also depends on how you yourself are marketing. You know what I'm saying? So I take for instance, shout out to Big John Sticks and Sticks Mobile out of Flossmoor, Illinois. He carries Monolith Cigars, Zeus, and Aphrodite. Um, when you have, someone that is working with you, understand what I'm saying? Working with you to move your product because it benefits them as well. You know what I'm saying? It all that works in your favor. Now, when you're talking about selling online, you know what I'm saying? That's something that's a direct customer. You know what I'm saying? So a customer does not have to go to a lounge, they don't have to go to a cigar week, you know, none of the BS. There's like, hey, that's shipped to your doorstep. So some people, and I might include myself in this. A lot of people don't sometimes like lounges. Like their ideal lounge is their house. They want smoke at home. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's on the balcony, their front porch, backyard or whatever. So you got to understand that dynamic as well. Um, they both can work easily. Um, but you have to understand what's going to best work for you because you might not want your product in most of these lounges. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to move. Like everybody knows Placencia, everybody knows, Davidoff, Fuente, uh, J.C. Newman, AJ Fernandez. They know these big brands, so they know how to find them.
Right.
Boutiques have a harder time, going matter of fact, going to a particular lounge and making sure that their product is seen, and to educate the lounge owner and maybe their tobacconist um, on, hey, this is the flavor profile, this is what it is. Matter of fact, hey, let's sit down and smoke this right now so you can understand what this cigar is about. And so they can actually speak to it. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people. They was like, oh yeah, I smoke that. The owner might smoke it, but he's not the one that's probably in the humidor.
Right.
So he's not the one that's going to be, hey, I just got this fresh box in. It's great. It's phenomenal. It's creamy. It's robust. Great, smoke, great construction. No, he's not going to do that. Nicaraguan blend, they're not going to do that. Because a lot of times, you might have that conversation with the owner, but it's going out his head once he purchases it. I appreciate it. Boom, box is in his
Gone.
lounge.
Yep.
His other people gonna be in there trying to do what they do, and some of them don't even do that because some lounges don't even have somebody to come into the humidor with you and say, "Hey, you need some help. What are you looking for? What's your palate? What do you like to smoke?" Like I said, we go back to those questions. Hey, what do you eat normally? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
What's your dietary plan? It all depends on how you are trying to market. For me, yeah, primarily myself have been online. I've been in a few lounges, but I'm not forcing myself to go out here and beat lounges to death and talk. I can go a different route and probably make a whole lot more money than going just to the lounge.
No doubt.
So when you do events, that's where you're going to get a lot of publicity, the marketing, and everything else. So you got to figure out how you want to move. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to stay at home, or you want to go from state to state to state to state, or uh, travel abroad? Go to Canada.
There you go. Hey, what's up, Danny? What's going on? Hey, for the people that ain't seen it, there's that limited edition band right there. Ooh wee, that thing look mighty good there. Had to show them that band, man. They so they understand that band tough on that special edition.
So let's talk about it. So, so for all those that don't know, the special edition band is also um, uh, a logo, a secondary logo that pretty much is stand there to replace my original logo in most sense. Um, and it came from this gentleman right here. And so as I was thinking, and me and my business partner was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "You need to come out with just something different altogether." So we created this limited edition, pretty much a double Maduro barber pole with the Candela barber pole, a little bit of Lajero in it, Nicaraguan. Um, and I said, what better way to actually do a limited edition and change it up and say, hey, this is it, kind of a representation of Mount Olympus and the Olympians as a whole, and then we came out with that band. And so I talked to um, smoking artist Lizzie. I appreciate everything Lizzie's done for me when it came to bands. marketing, production. She is phenomenal in every aspect. And so the logo came to life. And so the logo came to life on many different occasions. When I went to Pensacola, the new tablecloth. Um, when let's talk about House of Oscuro. When we talk about the T-shirts, the band ideas, the logo ideas, and then yeah, we'll have the tent coming soon too. And
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, but that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, man. We 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 use, well, I ain't gonna say use. We
nah,
collab with each other. We play
it's
off each other to make this work.
it and but see, here's the thing: to have an actual genuine connection,
Right.
to talk, explore someone's mind, to think about, hey, you know, what 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 do they like? What do they not like? Hey, I understand this concept of this Y and D. So when the song came out, the very first one, I was thrown back. Um, and then I was thrown back a second time. All right, listen, I'll be like this. I might have been in my house like this.
Okay, okay, you.
And so, that's when the first logo that you kind of produced dropped. And then, you kind of screwed me. But I'm gonna say in the good way, because I was gonna stop at 10. But then I was like, oh shit, he's right. There's 12 Olympians, so I need two more. And so you created the second logo, and so they're all in the House of Girls. So we do the collab to make the shirts for the people and everything else. And that's what I meant by everybody can eat off the same table, because I don't get nothing for that. But and this is the thing that I tell the audience: it wasn't my idea. It wasn't when it came to apparel. It wasn't my idea.
But it works so well for you, don't it?
It
Now
do
that's some
work
good.
well. You know what I'm saying?
That's some
I
good.
mean,
That's some damn good promotion.
because I'm like, yo, if I'm wearing a shirt, why not smoke the smoke?
Right. That's it, man. What up, Stevie? What up, Jake? I saw y'all pop in. You right, Danny? Yeah,
Oh,
thought partner with
oh,
on the same level.
2019 in the building.
Now, 2019 need to be in this building. I'm waiting on him. When
Hey,
he
you're right.
This would have been the perfect time to have it. Try to tell him he don't want to act right.
Yeah, MJ. I need that. I need that ashtray. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna cuss you out because you was in there with Crit, but I'm gonna give you grace. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little jealous, but okay. But yeah, you have to figure out, as a business owner, where you want your brand to go, and you got to understand the people that you either want to build with, or that you can still work with, and not this, and y'all not necessarily have to have that kind of friendship, because I do understand there's a lot in business that people need to understand, especially if, if y'all are friends. You've got to have the discernment to be able to separate the two.
Hmm.
And if you can't, and I think this is where a lot of folks make the issue or make the poor decision is not every friend, not every family member is good for business. I'm saying
Exactly.
there's the jealousy part. There's the, oh, I need to get paid for X, Y, and Z, and they might not have committed to X, Y, and Z. And so that's one thing me and OG talk about religiously. He might be like, "Hey man, I have to do X, Y, and Z." Da, 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 da. For me as a business person, I'm looking at it as, oh, you have to pay X amount of dollars for X, Y, and Z. Okay, you cut this check, and then he might come back and be like, "Yo, why you send me this money?" Um, the conversation that we just had, you said you have to pay X amount, amount of dope. That doesn't necessarily have to come out your own pocket. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And so, it's just crazy sometimes that simple conversations can dead a lot of issues where people are either too egotistical in their brain, uh, too much of pride, and like, motherfucker, we out here making money. What you talking about?
Right.
Listen, for me, I'm simple. I want to eat good, I want to smoke good, and I want to drink good. Everything else, and I leave the other two
Yeah.
topics to
Yeah.
the side. But
What's up, you?
um, that's that. I mean, that's just it. You know what I'm saying? And shit. I mean, you'll tell you what's going on. He'll tell you like us meeting in Charlotte was our first time. Hell, I was hoping you would set up and shit. Like I don't know anything about what he had going on, the shirts or whatnot. But he was there by, what I'm saying? He was trying to set up by himself.
Yeah.
Like, and so I just thought, like, hey, it's a couple of us that know him. Like, why we not helping?
You right
You know what
about
I mean?
that.
So you have to understand some of the times, what I'm saying, when people reach out and they use that term, and I hate to have to say it like that, the brothers or the friends. Man, too many people use that loosely in business.
You right
And
about that.
you got to have some discernment in that too, because sometimes a person that has a business and you got your business too, you might not want your business attached to theirs either. You know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
because you got to understand how you move, and then you also got to understand how your people move. They might not be moving in the same direction or even the right direction for you. So sometimes you got to be like, hey, I'm gonna do some support, but it might be on the back end that, what I'm saying, they don't understand, and they don't even realize, just because we navigate the world differently.
You right about that. Because I know, I mean, there's stuff that I got friends that they do, I'll support them, but I don't attach it to this because this is different. And hey, if I got to buy something from you, whatever, that's my form of support for you. I might not be able to post what you do, but I still support you in the way I can.
Right.
Uh, so going out on this, I'm gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions, just some little quick one hitters.
All right.
Uh,
Well, let's say fire
so
away.
so I know I can't ask you which is your favorite cigar, but I ask
Nope,
you
you can't.
this: which one of your cigars represents you the most?
Ooh.
I'm talking about represents DJ. I ain't talking about Mount Olympus. I'm talking about represents DJ.
Ooh. You know what? That might be a challenging question, because not one of those cigars represents me fully. I think all my cigars are probably an accumulation of myself. Um,
Ooh,
there's,
good
there's
answer.
parts for me.
Real good
There's,
answer right there.
there's parts for me in each one. Um, but again, you got to have the discernment to figure each one of those out. Okay? And so, there's strength in silence. Um, there's discernment in action. When you thinking about flavor, you know what I'm saying? Because I look at the cigars no different than me cooking. You know what I'm saying? Um, I get in the kitchen and make a mean meal, and
Excuse me.
it might be good to me, you know what I'm saying, but it might not be good to everybody else. And so that's the thing where I think I talked about before. You got to have the open mind to the constructive criticism because how you create a dish, and that's literally like creating a cigar. Everybody's not gonna like it, and you got to be okay with that.
Right, right, right. All right. So, what's a cigar pairing that you've never told anybody about? Like a cigar pairing you had or you've done that you never told anybody about?
Mm, I don't know because that's almost again that's almost like public knowledge sometimes. Like shit, I think I sat outside and smoked some shine with my stick. So I mean that's not the norm, I guess, for some. I think most people think about coffee and you know whiskey or bourbon or wine maybe, but yeah, shine might be the only one, but hell, people see me online doing that.
Right. How about this? Name someone in the cigar industry who deserves more flowers.
Mm. You said so? Does it have to be someone?
Or it could be more than one, or it
Okay,
could be a group. Yeah.
I said it, women.
I'm an amazing answer,
I
sir.
I say that, and I think it goes back a long ways. I think a lot of people don't even understand who's in the fields, who's in the factories. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these factories are now coming up with, daycare options and everything for their women because a lot of the women are the ones rolling because, you know, rolling is a process, it's a delicate process and everything else like that. Even, Orlando, you know what I'm saying, as a master blender and everything else. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to he's like, nah. And the lady's and so you just have to understand that. Like you gotta read through the history, understand. Like a lot of men need to let go of the misogynistic things when it comes to things that both men and women love.
No
And
doubt.
you have to give the ladies, you know what I'm saying, their credit where credit is due. And not just to be like, you I like nah bro, like for real. Like they do a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're talking about somebody that's probably rolling 300, 400 cigars a day, like for real, you got to pay homage to that.
Most
You know what I'm
definitely. All right, here we go. When your days have come to an end, brother, and it's gonna be over. God tell you you can smoke one cigar, one last cigar. What would it be?
saying? That's a tough one. That's a tough one because now I have to choose between one of my own or one of those Monte Cristo number twos I got in my humidor. Um, and I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan of the Legacy brand cigars. I have come to a personal conclusion that as I start smoking a plethora of other cigars, I still come back to mine. or
Oh,
the ones I treasure and keep under lock and key.
no doubt. All right. Now this a me question right here. This a me question I'm finna give you. Of all the Mount Olympus theme songs that you have, which one do you like the most?
Shit, you seen it, you heard it. Hey, it's the several reels. You know what I'm saying? Now, I I think that particular one for me um s- s- speaks power and dominance. Um, all the other ones are very descriptive.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They talk about each one in particular. You know what I'm saying? You throw in a little thing about Zeus and Ares and Hades and Hephaestus. Yeah, great description. But that Mount Olympus chant is probably, what I'm saying, one of probably, if it's not my favorite, it's top tier. You know what I'm saying? But matter of fact, besides the one I did, because I think you heard that when you were in PCA, and you was like, "What the
Right.
fuck?"
Right. Exactly.
Because you was like, "Wait a minute, no, that's me.
I told you.
That's
I was
me.
like, I
What?
turned around and thought somebody had got me. I was like, who the fuck?
Somebody got you."
Oh,
But
what's up? What's up, Black Butterfly? What's up, me,
I
me?
I I think the other one, and I did it in the line a lounge that I had, Aphrodite in. And I did that particular joint, and I think you were like, Look, I'm gonna have to tell him to stop posting these songs and these reels because they're not out yet. They're not released for the general public. So I was like, all right, I digress.
No doubt. Man, honestly, because yeah, I made them or whatever, and and I guess I could be biased to whichever ones I like, but I think "Smoke from the Gods" is probably my favorite one
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
because
Like,
of
'cause
the way,
it's
I set it up,
you
the way I
you
set
did
it
it.
up.
I'm gonna say this. You did it in a way where you incorporated three people in the actual same song. That the one person was, he well hid. He got his little cuckoo, his little saying that's in there,
Hmm.
and and people don't maybe understand the whole part about so divine. Um, and so the intro part is really, I think, what was like heartfelt for me, because I was just like, I now I got to sit back and actually listen to this before I repost or anything. So when I listened to it, I was like it's thought. You know what I'm saying? You like the first one, fire, but that Smoke from the Guys, I think you put a lot more detail and focus into it, and to me, it came out beautifully. Like I wouldn't even change a thing about that.
No doubt. No.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's why at the beginning, that's why I said, DJ, you did your thing with this one because you did. You really done your thing with this brand. I hope everybody understands the hours and the thought process, the work you put into building this brand to what it is, and how amazing that it's come out because I've seen the growth. I've been on the phone call. I actually saw when you got Aries and Athena, you were smoking Athena that night, and the smile on your face was the biggest smile I ever seen because you were so
Downtown Rick,
happy about it. What up, Rick?
Nixon five,
Oh,
brother.
yeah, he probably still celebrating. He got his Nick socks on
He's
right now.
he's he say because he on his New York shit.
Right.
I mean, I do, and so every time I get a new one, I'm, I think I'm spellbound. Um, each time. I think the first time I smoked Castilla was the Tennessee Alabama game, and I came out here, and matter of fact, I'm in the exact same spot. And when I lit her up, I was like, what is this? What is
Mm-hmm.
this? And I was like, nah, I gotta smoke this again, and hopefully, I was like, maybe it'll be different, but if it hit the same way, I'm like, I might be in trouble. Um, but yeah, each time I get the box, I'm just like, I sit there and look at it for almost a half an hour to an hour. Like shit, but they're here. Like shit, I'm almost like a new kid in the candy store. What am I gonna do now? Which one I want to try first?
Hey, there
And
you go.
so and so that I think for me that's the crazy concept about the business is saying that I'm it's almost like I'm still a kid at heart when it comes to creating the smoke. And once I get them, I'm like, oh shit, which one I can smoke first? It's like, you running outside for recess. All right, I got the soccer ball or this football. Which one am I going fuck with first?
That's it. Well, man, we've been on for about getting close to an hour and a half, so I'm gonna end it. But I'm gonna end it with this question. All right, when people finish watching this live tonight, what's the one thing that you hope they understand about DJ, not Mount Olympus, about DJ when they leave this live?
Mm, listen, I'm an average dude that like to smoke cigars. You know what I'm saying? I'm friendly until you piss me off. Um, but at the same time, I'm down to earth, but I say to myself a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I think my mind is chaotic and thinking. So when it comes to smoke, the I'm thinking about the parents and everything else. Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, I might be creating a cigar, but writing poetry at the same time. You never know. And those that know me know I stay in the kitchen all the time. Like the kitchen is my safe haven. So I tell people all the time, don't cross my kitchen threshold with any kind of negative energy because I'll kick you out.
There you go. There you go. So for
I,
everybody,
no, Andrea, I'm not looking up to you. I just need my ashtray.
oh man. So for everybody, I'm Cam. This is the smoke session. We've been live with my brother DJ from Mount Olympus Cigars. We appreciate y'all for coming through. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Roll Tide.
Smoke session, pull a check, tune in. Cigar lit slow while the dialogue begin. From the leaf to the lounge, yeah, we cover it all. Cam got the voice, let the coach stand tall. Welcome to the smoke session where the real ones speak. In the street gyms every time we link. From the rollers to the brands to the people, the passion. It's more than a smoke.